Howdy, y'all. Hey, this is going to be a relatively quick video, hopefully, and off the cuff. And I'm going to be combining two video ideas I've had, one a response and one an analysis, for two reasons. One, I think it's more appropriate to do it this way. And I just want to get a video out there because some people are encouraging me to make a video. And so I'm going to do this. Now, here we go. The short and the quick of it is that I want to try to assist a lot of YouTubers and people in general into understanding that race is a factor and how it factors in. Now, the fact that race is a factor and that people use it for analyzing various things will answer a lot of questions. But I won't get into that long lecture over there. I'm just going to do this real quick. Now, I commented on a Young Turks video several weeks ago about the whole man-spreading thing and how the Young Turks were pointing out that this will just be used to attack minorities because it's like the new stop and frisk. And I was trying to point out to a female commenter, she was like, it's not a sex issue, it's a race issue. And I want to say, what part of the race do you think manspreading is going to affect? I think manspreading is going to affect black women, Hispanic women, Asian women. No. It's going to affect minority men and men in general. The issue is not race. The issue is gender. Now, just to move on, okay? The reason why a lot of people want to use race as a factor is because they don't understand the difference between variables and factors. And I've done a video on that, and I plan on expounding on it more. But what I will say right now is like this. Here goes to my second video idea. I'll try to be really quick. Now, police are just people. Men and women of all races. They have to do their job. Okay? And I was listening to a podcast the other day where this former cop was saying, hey, he got a non-crime neighborhood. He was assigned an area that had no crime. So he didn't have anyone to arrest. And his bosses were complaining that he wasn't doing his job. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not doing my job? I'm doing my job. And they go, well, you don't have any arrests. And he goes, well, there's no crime happening in my area. I go, that doesn't matter, man. You just check into your area and you go outside your area and you get some arrests. So arrests to a cop are like sales, okay? Like sales to a salesperson. Your boss doesn't care who you're selling it to. He doesn't care how you're doing it. He just wants the numbers, right? Okay? And just like a boss for a salesperson doesn't care if you're taking advantage of old people. Doesn't care if you're ripping off lonely old widows who are on Social Security. He just wants you to get a sale. Hell, he doesn't even care if the sale sticks. He just wants the numbers. And it's the same thing with the cops. So you have to put yourself in the mind of a cop. And you have to understand that most people don't understand the difference between variables and factors. Everyone knows race is a factor. And they all use race as a factor when they analyze other things. So if you're a cop, let's say I'm a cop. I need to arrest somebody. I don't care who. Not really. Well, okay. It doesn't matter if the person's actually committing a crime. I just need to arrest somebody. But what I do care about is if it's a false arrest or a bad arrest, will that person have the ability to come back on my ass and hurt me? And what's the primary factor when we're talking about being able to stand up for yourself, legally speaking? It's money. Money. All right? Now, everyone can start seeing where I'm going with this factor analysis, right? Now, people use their knowledge of factors, their innate, sort of natural-born knowledge of factors, however false their assumptions about factors may be, to then analyze back out, well, wait, how do I determine just by sight who's poor? Well, of course, there's the homeless guy. Could always arrest him. Can't really accuse him of much There's a woman. Oh, but women make less money in general, right, feminists? But, hey, she's a woman. Everyone takes pity on her. I'll look like a dick if I arrest a bunch of women. Right? And also, they won't spend much time in prison. They won't spend much time in jail. They won't spend much time on probation. The system's not going to get a lot of money out of them. All right, so I want to arrest a guy. I want to arrest a guy. He's probably doing something because in general, men have high testosterone. High testosterone leads to performance approach behavior. I'll get into that later. Testosterone, estrogen, cortisol. Bonobos and chimps, humans and simps. I'll get into that later. It's all connected. All my videos are connected. Testosterone leads to performance approach behavior, which is risky. Low testosterone or estrogen or cortisol or testosterone sort of insensitivity leads to performance avoidance behavior. Performance approach is approaching positive outcomes, right? And you're willing to risk negative outcomes because you're approaching positive ones. This is why men are in high risk stuff. That's why the economy crashes occasionally. People taking insane risks with other people's money. But women do a performance avoidance. They avoid negative consequences. So in general, they're probably not doing any crime. Right? Probably the crime they're doing most is drugs. The drugs are probably connected to various other things. At best, you're getting them for prostitution, which is a bullshit crime anyway. And, not gonna get a lot of money. So you want a guy. But you don't want a guy that can screw you back if you screw up. So you want a poor guy. Now, cops use their knowledge of factors, their innate knowledge of factors. Because we all know, just like the feminists say, women as a factor, women as a group make less money. We all know black people, minorities as a group, make less money. And so, in the mind of the cop, if you're going to screw somebody, if you're going to take the risk to just walk up, stop and frisk somebody, walk up, bust someone for having balls, literally bust them for having balls, you're going to want to do it to a poor person. But you're not actually sure just by looking at someone if they're poor. So you're going to want to do it to a black person. And then this, everyone, people in the atheist community, people in the feminist community, social justice warriors, academics, everyone. This explains the high arrest rates and incarceration rates. Even though white people do, let's say, drugs, even though white people do drugs relatively just as much, they're not being addressed by the cops because the cops say, oh, white is probably getting money. Even if that's not true at all. They're thinking in their head because they don't have a proper understanding of the difference between variables and factors. That if you're white, you get more money than if you're black. And so I hope, and I'm coming up on my 10 minutes, I'm probably going to run over a bit. I hope that y'all hung in there with me. I hope that y'all get what I'm talking about. And I want to reiterate to the young lady in the comment section about the manspreading. It is not a race issue. It is a gender issue. Because it's not black women who get busted for manspreading. It's black men. And then for all the other people out there, and I don't want to call people out by name, but you're in the atheist community, you're in the Gamergate community, you're in the social justice warrior community, feminist community, academic community, the skeptical community, all y'all. The reason why black people are more negatively affected by crime is not really a vast conspiracy against the black man, even though I know that's what it looks like. It's what Noam Chomsky calls a conspiracy of self-interest. And it's because these cops have to prove they're worth their pension by arresting people. And so they're forcing cops to arrest people. And if you're forced to arrest somebody and you don't see any crime, you can't catch any crime, because that's crazy. No one's going to commit crime when they see a cop around. Well, that's also why they keep drugs illegal. So if you're going to stop and frisk, which is now illegal, if you're going to bust somebody's balls for having balls, you're going to want to pick on the black guy. Even though that is no guarantee that he is poor. No guarantee. And so this explains practically everything when you're dealing with race. So MGTOWs and manosphere people in general, what you're going to want to do is take the reasoning the feminists use with the gender, right? And that factoring, that ass backwards factoring, the teleological reasoning that they use that's wrong with gender. Replace gender with race. And trust me, I'll get into factors later on, just analysis of variables and so forth later on. I've already done a few of those. I'll do more later. And sorry for this not being as concise and well written as I wanted, but I decided to make a few YouTubers happy and release a video today.
All right. Well, you guys have a nice day. And always remember to go your own way. Yours truly, Ed.